Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to 365 Days of Love and Miracles with A Course in Miracles. My name is Arlene Geres, and I am so glad that you are here. Please remember to listen right until the very end, because we have a special treat for you. And if you enjoyed today's video, please click like and subscribe down below, because this helps others to find us on YouTube. Today's lesson is lesson number 92. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Let's read today's lesson. The idea for today is an extension of the previous one. You do not think of light in terms of strength and darkness in terms of weakness. That is because your idea of what seeing means is tied up with the body and its eyes and brain. Thus you believe that you can change what you see by putting little bits of glass before your eyes. This is among the many magical beliefs that come from the conviction you are a body and the body's eyes can see. Let's talk about it. Without these little bits of glass, I would be in serious trouble. I need them in order to be able to read. But of course, this lesson is talking about seeing with spiritual eyes and changing from believing that I am a body to embracing and accepting that I am a spirit. This body is just a vehicle. It gets me around just like my car. And of course, I want to take good care of it, just like I do with my car. But I am not my car. I am not my body. If I ask in the morning, which I do in my morning prayer, dear God, please give me your mind to think, your ears to hear, your eyes to see, your words to speak, and your heart to love, I have a beautiful day, because I believe when I say those kinds of prayers that I am given that ability to see with God's eyes means that I overlook a whole lot of the problems and worries and upsets that just make me depressed and anxious. I lived like that for many years. This way is so much better, and I'm so much happier. Let's read on. You also believe the body's brain can think. If you but understood the nature of thought, you could but laugh at this insane idea. It's as if you thought you held the match that lights the sun and gives it all its warmth, or that you held the world within your hand, securely bound until you let it go. Yet this is no more foolish than to believe the body's eyes can see, the brain can think. Let's talk about it. Once again, if I just think with my puny human brain, I get myself into a whole lot of trouble. And I did do that for many years too. I thought I was very clever, but in being clever, I alienated people that I loved. I had arrogance. I really did believe that I was better than a whole lot of people. This is where racism comes in. The idea that because of a person's skin, or because of a person's ethnicity, or because of a person's social standing, or economic status, or education, that somehow or other, this puts us into different layers or castes in which I want to be on top. That only made me sick, and it makes me really sad to think that I ever thought that way. When I think with the mind of God, I see everything differently. We're all on the same playing field here. We're all spirits. We're not bodies. None of that other stuff matters. This is exciting. I hope you find it exciting. I love this lesson. Let's read on. It is God's strength in you that is the light in which you see, as it is His mind with which you think. His strength denies your weakness. It is your weakness that sees through the body's eyes, peering about in darkness to behold the likeness of itself, the small, the weak, the sickly, and the dying, those in need, the helpless and afraid, the sad, the poor, the starving, and the joyless. These are seen through eyes that cannot see and cannot bless. Let's talk about it. I have a friend that's really been struggling with things that she's hearing on the news or things that she's reading on social media, and she gets herself very anxious and upset. Those are things of this world. And yes, we are called to help where we can, to offer God's love where we are able. But we are not called to be anxious and upset about what is going on in the world. We are called to raise ourselves to a higher place,
to see and to think with God's eyes and God's mind, because his strength denies my weakness. God is all powerful. God can do all things, but he needs us to be his hands and feet. And we can't do that if we're anxious and upset. Let's read on.
Strength overlooks these things by seeing past appearances. It keeps its steady gaze upon the light that lies beyond them. It unites with light of which it is a part. It sees itself. It brings the light in which yourself appears. In darkness you perceive a self that is not there. Strength is the truth about you. Weakness is an idol falsely worshipped and adored, that strength may be dispelled, and darkness rule where God appointed that there should be light. Let's talk about it.
Strength is the truth about you, and strength is the truth about me. We are mighty, we are powerful, as long as we know where our strength comes from. It does not come from me and my puny muscles. Weakness is an idol falsely worshipped and adored, that strength may be dispelled and darkness rule where God appointed that there should be light. This is such an important principle. With our ego selves, our small s selves, we tend to buy into the thought that we are not very strong. And when we do that, we just want to hide in our corner, go to bed and pull up the covers and make the world go away. It's too much for us. But if we're relying on God's strength, we are mighty and we can do mighty things. Let's read on.
Strength comes from truth and shines with light its source has given it. Weakness reflects the darkness of its maker. It is sick and looks on sickness, which is like itself. Truth is a savior and can only will for happiness and peace for everyone. It gives its strength to everyone who asks in limitless supply. It sees that lack in anyone would be a lack in all, and so it gives its light that all may see and benefit as one. Its strength is shared, that it may bring to all the miracle in which they will unite in purpose and in forgiveness and in love.
There's a lot in this paragraph. Strength comes from truth, the truth being that we are spirit and that we are one with God. Everything else is false. All of our old beliefs, all our childhood patterns, all the things that our parents, our teachers, the church taught us that we had to be good in order to be acceptable. Those things are not true. We are love. That is the truth of who we are. And in that, there is beautiful strength. We have mighty power to go out and share that love in the world. Truth is a savior and can only will for happiness and peace for everyone. Do you want that for everyone? It gives its strength to everyone who asks in limitless supply. All we have to do is, dear God, please give me your strength in limitless supply. When we ask for that, we can get through anything, even the very hardest things. It sees that lack in anyone would be a lack in all. If I believe in my own lack in any way, then I'm seeing lack in the world. This belief in abundance is a wonderful part of A Course in Miracles. We have limitless supply of everything. All we have to do is believe in it. Its strength is shared, that it may bring to all the miracle in which they will unite in purpose and in forgiveness and in love. Forgiveness is the key. When we practice forgiveness, our hearts completely open to God's love, and we're able to receive and we're able to give love freely. Let's read on.
Weakness, which looks in darkness, cannot see a purpose in forgiveness and in love. It sees all others different from itself and nothing in the world that it would share. It judges and condemns, but does not love. In darkness, it remains to hide itself and dreams that it is strong and conquering, a victor over limitations that but grow in darkness to enormous size.
That is certainly how I used to live, in weakness, in doubt, in fear, in judgment. There wasn't much forgiveness going on. I might have said that I forgive, but I still carry bitterness, hurt, and anger in my heart. It sees all others different from itself and nothing in the world that it would share. A Course in Miracles helps us to get past the idea
that we are separate beings. We're all little units.
and helps us to see that we are all one.
I am not different from you, and you are not different from me. We all share
This journey of oneness, this journey of love through our higher power. Let's read on. It fears and it attacks and hates itself, and darkness covers everything it sees, leaving its dreams as fearful as itself. No miracles are here, but only hate. It separates itself from what it sees, while light and strength perceive themselves as one. The light of strength is not the light you see. It does not change and flicker and go out. It does not shift from night to day and back to darkness till the morning comes again. Let's talk about it. No miracles are here, but only hate. That is such a sad place to be. I really hope that these lessons are helping you to shift to miracle-mindedness, to being able to see through eyes of love, and to recognize any time that we're carrying any kind of grievance, that is actually hate, and that blocks us from the power of love. The next paragraph is wonderful. It shows us the way out. The light of strength is constant, sure as love, forever glad to give itself away, because it cannot give but to itself. No one can ask in vain to share its light, and none who enter its abode can leave without a miracle before his eyes, and strength and light abiding in his heart. I have that underlined, I have it starred, I have it highlighted. It's good news, it's exciting. We don't have to stay in darkness and hate and anger and upset and sorrow and pain. We can just open our hearts to the miracle. The light of strength is constant, sure as love, ever glad to give itself away, because it cannot give but to itself. When I give you love, I'm giving it to myself. Isn't that wonderful? It is an endless source. The more we give it away, the more we get back. Let's read on. The strength in you will offer you the light and guide your seeing, so you do not dwell on idle shadows that the body's eyes provide for self-deception. Strength and light unite in you, and where they meet, yourself stands ready to embrace you as its own. Such is the meeting place we try today to find and rest in. For the peace of God is where yourself, his Son, is waiting now to meet itself again and be as one. Let's talk about it. The strength in you will offer you the light. This is God's strength, the strength that we have asked for. When we ask for it, it is in us and it changes our lives. Let's finish today's lesson. Let us give 20 minutes twice today to join this meeting. Let yourself be brought unto yourself. Its strength will be the light in which the gift of sight is given you. Leave then the dark a little while today, and we will practice seeing in the light, closing the body's eyes, and asking truth to show us how to find the meeting place of self and capital S self, where light and strength are one. Morning and evening, we will practice thus. After the morning meeting, we will use the day in preparation for the time at night when we will meet again in trust. Let us repeat as often as we can the idea for today and recognize that we are being introduced to sight and led away from darkness to the light where only miracles can be perceived. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful lesson. Let's talk about it. I want to just underline that we don't always have the time that the lesson is asking for, but it's asking us for 20 minutes, twice today, first thing in the morning and last thing before we go to bed. Just listening to this lesson is transformative, but if we can do all 20 minutes, we're going to hit the jackpot. We do want to close our eyes and have a little meditation on the lesson. We ask to see with God's eyes. We see the light that is in everything. We see God's purpose and God's love in every experience that we go through, and we embrace all of it. What normally would bring us sorrow, as well as being fully open to joy. Embracing all of it, we live fully, we have peace. We stop fighting, we quit struggling. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one.
Thanks so much for listening to today's lesson, my friends. If you enjoyed today's video, please share the love. Tell others about these videos. Encourage them to start at lesson 1 and only do 1 lesson a day. Are you ready for our special treat? We can only hear this message if we are truly quiet, if we are sitting in peace, if we try to let go of those voices in our head. I invite you to really focus on doing this today. One of the things that is very helpful is to come back to the mantra. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Have a day of only seeing miracles, my friends. I love you.